I cut myself short by accident in the last video. So as I was saying, my parents work in this pretty rough neighborhood, about a 40-minute drive away from here, and it's a place which thrives on street commerce. There's a lot of stores there. There's a lot of It's a large influx of people every day. Many stores. I wouldn't be able to give you a number, but like very large amount, of commercial center. And what happened once all this chaos installed itself in our state was that they looted a number of stores very close to my mother's eyeglasses store. Many of them, jewelers, surfwear shops, and others as well, phone shops, and etc. But on the first night, I think they looted about 20 stores, I believe it was. I heard it reported, and we were all very scared. All the commerce was shut down, and nobody ventured. Well, at least 99% that we could see on the streets. Nobody was brave enough to open their stores the next morning because of the looting and pillaging. It was disgraceful. It was, of course, I had seen things like that before on the news, but to see that with my own eyes, in such a large scale, was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my entire life. I don't think that's anything anyone wants to go through. I wouldn't want anyone to see that. It's horrifying. The face of evil. It's not pretty. One of them, anyways. And so my parents, they never went to work the next day. In my entire life, I am 26 years old now. I have never seen my father, nor my mother for that fact, but especially my father. I've never seen him miss a single day at work. Not even when he was extremely sick, with stuff that would knock you out and not let you move. He would go. He would say, I have to go. I have a duty. That's my life. He wouldn't stop because of anything. But that's the first thing that really stopped him. That completely enabled him from simply going over and doing his job like he's done for the past almost 30 years now, I believe. Not 30, but 25 or something. But never mind, that's not important. So yeah, my parents were mortally afraid. They didn't sleep that night. Neither did I, actually. I don't think many people did truly slept from Sunday evening and Monday morning. That one night, that gap. I don't think many people slept. And my mother was checking the cameras on her phone. She's got like an app that she can monitor the stores through their live cameras, and she was mortally afraid that the thugs would break into her store and loot all her merchandise and everything else, just wreck the whole place like they've done with countless others. She went to bed about 6-ish, maybe a bit before that, and had to wake up a couple hours later. So we decided, she decided with my father, it'd be proper, it'd be smart to go over there, even in the face of danger. Risk going outside, venture out, and move the merchandise from the store. So in case there was any attempt to break in or actual break-ins, they wouldn't be able to steal anything valuable anyways. So we did just that, and we had to get in touch with someone, some I think my mother's cousin, I think it was. He managed to get us two security guards to stand outside on the street, which was pretty much deserted, apart from a very small amount of people walking by, doing God knows what, still lost from the night before, not knowing what to do, trying to get to work, not knowing if things would be open or not, but there's absolutely nothing open. Absolutely nothing. It was terrifying. So we went inside. The bodyguards stood guard outside, and we filled a couple of bags with all the merchandise, all the eyeglasses, much like this one, and then we stormed off afterwards with all the merchandise and hid it, put it somewhere safe. To be in a situation like that, where you actually have to do that, is terrifying. I never thought I'd live to see something like this, but I did. And I'm very sorry this video is very long. I could have probably said all of this in a handful of minutes, but I've never done this before. I never talked to a camera like this. I never felt the need to do so, as I said, and I just have to get it out. I apologise for that, but as you can see, it's a very serious situation. So at the moment, things don't seem to be improving very much. As a matter of fact, they seem to be getting worse, if anything. The negotiations between the wives, they're the ones in charge of the negotiation, the wives of the policemen and the government. Their negotiations aren't going forward as they should. I'm not entirely sure who's completely at fault here. Well, I don't know for a fact that this all started because of the government's failure to provide, and just them having inhumane working conditions and no guarantees for the future. That's more than reasonable. That is fine, So they're the cause, certainly, of the strike, but the consequences of the strike, I don't think they really thought it out. Really sat down and asked themselves, okay, we're gonna go on strike. What's actually going to happen? I think they anticipated some kind of mayhem, but certainly not in the way it's happening. I've heard that about 200 stores, I believe. I could be wrong on this, but last I read on a news website, more than 200 stores were looted and pillaged. People who put in the hours and all their life dedication into those places, ransacked for no good reason other than them people just wanting stuff, watches, clothes, t-shirts, material stuff, just for that, to destroy somebody else's life for your own benefit. That is unacceptable. In every level, unacceptable. But something happened today. This is why it triggered me to make this video. It so happened that the population are fed up. They want the police out on the streets, and because the protesters won't budge, a number of people gathered in front of the barracks, or the main barracks here in Victoria, and they started shouting abuse at the women protesting for the policemen, and they laid tires on the road and they burned them. They closed the road, and for a moment people thought there would be like a confrontation between the two crowds, but very soon the army they deployed a couple of army officers to halt their advance, so they separated both crowds, kept them one on the one side of the street and the other one on the other side. So they kept shouting, they kept trying to advance, and there was a lot of mayhem. I think that's the word. Yeah, just chaos, confusion going on. The people don't know what to do. They're desperate. I'm desperate. They're desperate. Everyone is desperate. But at this point, after you've seen 76 people dead because of this, one would think that the protesters would at the very least, back off, even if a bit, allow the policemen to do their job, to ensure the people's safety. But that didn't happen. They accepted the fact that they have to go all the way with this. They have accepted that no matter how many casualties take place in this gap of time between them and the government reaching some kind of compromise, that gap of casualty, that is acceptable. Because that's what their inaction speaks right now. I don't think they had any malign intentions of, okay, we're just gonna allow chaos to just break loose and we're gonna do nothing about it because we don't give a damn. They do give a damn. I'm pretty sure they give a damn, because if they didn't give a damn, they wouldn't be there in the first place. They're fighting for better working conditions for the very people that have to go through this hell pretty much on a daily basis. But doing that and completely stopping them from preventing all of this situation going on across the state, they're not acting in good faith. I'm convinced they're not. And that is not nice. Nice. Not to say a much harsher word here. That is not very nice. And if this episode, and we're still not sure what's going to happen in the end. There's no way to foresee what's actually going to be like once this all ends. But there's one thing we ought to be very wary of, and that is the fact that if this episode is to be taken as an example and reproduced in other states simultaneously, then we're going to see a country broken down into proper civil war. And we do not want that. We do not want that. I understand perfectly. I'm certainly not a cop. As I said, very much doubt I'll ever do that. I cannot begin to understand. I mean, what these guys go through every day, and what they're asking for, in my opinion, is fair. It is fair. At the same time, while they don't get that, now that they have the attention now, they've done. They've already achieved what they wanted. You know, they've grabbed everybody's attention, not just the government's, but I mean the whole country's attention. You know, and people comparing what's been going on here at the moment, they're likening it to what's been going on in Syria, for example. I mean, of course, there's no rocket launchers going on, no tanks, no air bombings, but it's close enough. Close enough. It's no exaggeration for my part. I wish it was. So yeah, this could all turn out to evolve into a large-scale civil war. If there's no order, if there's no one to contain this horrific wave of violence. It's disgusting. It's evil. We do not want that. Nobody wants that. And that is something that the world is not talking about right now. They should be on the news. This is big stuff happening here. This is a war zone type of thing. That is international newsworthy. And I sincerely hope that by watching this video, you will feel, at the very least, some kind of sympathy towards us living this hell at the moment, trapped inside our own houses, unable to go out because you might not know what's going to happen. You might not know. You could very well get shot. Especially, although not exclusively, at night. My parents, just a couple, maybe just 2 hours before, they were still awake, and they were watching videos. They are on this community on WhatsApp, on Facebook, beg your pardon, of our state, and people, they've been posting videos of what's been going on this night, and by the looks of it, it's no better than what was happening on Monday early morning. Lootings and killings, random shootings. The arm is here. They've sent about 1,200 men to try and secure peace once again. They're out there trying to establish some measure of order, but by the looks of it, it's not been enough. And the thugs, the villains of this story, they're the real villains, you know. Not the police, not the protesters. The real villains of this story are the people who go out with a gun, point it to somebody's head, steal their purse or some utter irrelevant stuff, and shoot them in the head. These are the real villains. They're the ones. They ought to be punished, ravished from this earth. They don't deserve to be among us. And that is it for the moment. I'm going to make another video, maybe tomorrow, maybe later on tonight, about lootings and the nature of what's been going on with this society over the past couple of years. So thank you very much for watching, for being very patient with my very slow-paced rant. Let's call this a rant of sorts. I have no idea how far this is going to reach, or whether this is going to reach anyone at all but a couple of friends on Facebook. And if that is as far as it's going to go, that's fine for me. Just had to unwind because, well, you know why. I just told you. So thank you very much. Have a fantastic day. Take it easy.